Spencer. You know what time it is. It's time for the top 100 East Texas players of 2025. This is the 20 through 11 edition. One more rundown. I mean, I guess I should put this on Facebook, but it doesn't matter. The guys that made this list were first team all district or a superlative in their district. And then on top of that, they had to make a highlight tape and grade out in the top 100 players. So that's how you come up with the list. This is number 20 through 11. No further ado, let's jump right into it. And number 20, junior running back from Center, Texas, is Jeremy Bluford. Bluford's second year making the list, popped up in the 40s as a sophomore. This year comes in at number 20 as a junior. I think this guy is extremely talented. I think he is maybe not the fastest guy that you'll see running the ball, but the effort that he runs with, the vision, the acceleration through holes, the ability to run it inside, outside, the ability to bounce off of people. He went 99 on one of his runs. I think the first run you'll see on his highlight tape. He is a dynamic player, over 1,300 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns for a center team. That I'm gonna be honest with you, if this guy was on another roster, would probably get a whole lot more accolades and a lot of other things too. And that's not a dig at the coaching staff or anything at center. It's just, they're not as talented as the teams that they have to face. I think if he lined up and played at a Carthage, he would be another 2,000-yard running back and have one of those crazy seasons. So I think a lot of where you play, has a lot to do with your numbers, which is why I don't look at numbers when I rank these guys. I look at their abilities, I look at their play, I look at who they're playing, and I look at what they're doing against some of the better teams. And to me, Jeremy Bluford, not only last year, but this year has proven to be one of the better running backs in East Texas and pops up here on the list at number 20. At number 19, it is a run-stopping, screen shutting down, just a plugger there in the middle of your defense. It is this senior from Kilgore. It is Cameron Christian. The Texas State signee was a man. 3 block kicks, 3 picks this year to go along with over 60-some tackles. And I don't know how many tackles for loss. I think in the 20s maybe, but that's not important. You look at Cam Christian play, he is an ox. He will not be moved. You cannot block him with one person. You need to, and you're going to get a stalemate at best. You're not going to knock him off the football. He is an outstanding, savvy type of player. Has played a lot of football over the last 4 years. Did a really good job of stuffing out screens. He caught 3 interceptions this year from his defensive tackle position, which is insane. Not only that, but knew how to make a knack for the big play, blocking 3 kicks as well. Going to Texas State, like I said, I think he finished maybe number 16 maybe last year. I was high on him last year as well. I think he's a very, very, very good player. The best player on that defensive line that has anchored the Kilgore going to state 2 years in a row. It just can't move him, dominant, always shows up in it there, each and every week, does his job and does it with the best of them. And like I said, very, very high regards for Cameron Christian, and can't wait to see what his future entails. But a very dominant senior year, and he pops up here on the list at number 19. At number 18, a senior from Sulphur Springs. He is a running back / receiver. He is Jackson Hare. Incredible year for Hare. Ran the ball for, I don't know how many times they ran it, but ran it for over 1,000 yards this year. Also caught about 400 yards of receiving yards as well, playing in the slot. He's really kind of what they do with Trey Ball out there at Texas High. He does on maybe a lighter version. He's going to play more running back in the actual traditional set, but he will go out there and run routes and catch the ball from the slot receiver, and he's good at it. Great after the catch, obviously. You do not want to match up with a one-on-one, a great route runner from the slot. I can see him being really good at that position in college, whatever level he decides to play at. He's good in space, catches it well. You can't tackle him one-on-one if you're not a really good player. You ain't going to get him down. He'll break off a tackle and get you another 15, 20, might even score depending on who he's playing. So I think Jackson Hare was a great player last year, made the list. I think he multiplied that even more this year, just looked even more controlled, more dominant. not a whole lot of wasted movement with him. He's going to be efficient. He's going to move the ball up and down the field and try to get it into the end zone. Sulphur Springs lost their quarterback, Deuce. I believe his name was Timmons. I'm not always sure. They lost their quarterback who made the list last year in the middle of the year to an ACL. So had to do some adjustment and put in dynamic players back in positions to do more things. And Jackson Hare was one of those guys who benefited maybe from that. But a really good football player, statistically 1,400 total yards, great year. Number 18, Jackson Hare. At number 17, one of the best statistical quarterbacks in East Texas history. Right here, it is Jet Surratt from Carthage. What an incredible year he had. 52 touchdowns to I don't know how many, very few interceptions, 3,900 passing yards. Only played in half of his games. He is the one of the three-headed guys that coach running back and quarterback. I think are the stars off of this Carthage team. Uh, Man, Jet Surratt has just had an incredible career. Third time making the list. I made it the list as in his 30s as a sophomore, 40s as a junior, and here he pops up on the list at number 17 as a senior. Does no wrong on the field, man. Extremely accurate. Has some mobility. Uh, can get out of trouble if need be. Not a huge arm, but he throws the ball on time and he is precise as they get. You're not going to find a more accurate quarterback. He can literally, his passes look like handoffs at times. He is just absolutely just placing the ball wherever he wants to. An absolute winner, one loss in his career. That one loss was in the fourth round of the playoffs, and he lost it in overtime, like 45-43, something insane like that. So never have they lost and it been on Jet Surratt. He's everything we thought he would be. Uh, Physically had to deal with a shoulder injury that kind of took some air off his passes. I think physically he looked his best as a sophomore. I thought that was when he threw it the best, the furthest, the strongest. But as a senior, just a machine, on time, deliberate, precise. Great receivers and Junior Henderson to throw the ball out to. And then he had one of the best weapons of all time behind him, handing the ball off to KJ Edwards, making sure that he didn't have to play any kind of super special coverage because they were trying to tackle zero, which left a lot of one-on-one opportunities for him to take advantage of, and he did just that. Uh, Offensive MVP around the state, shared offensive MVP in the district, or shared district MVP with KJ Edwards. Just a fantastic player, and did an incredible job for Carthage in 2025. At number 16, the senior quarterback from Texas High, and it is Cameron Reitner. And what a year Cameron Reitner had. 43 touchdowns to just 7 picks for a guy that played wide receiver last year. 2,400 passing yards, 500 rushing yards on the ground in 12 games played. Texas High dominant like they always are during the regular season. The last 6 years, I've covered them. They have been absolutely dominant in the regular season. Uh, he benefited from a great running back slash receiver and Trey Ball. But Cameron Reitner was a true quarterback this year, and I thought they were going to run him to death, honestly. I thought he was going to have over 1,200 rushing yards this year, really be an option type team, but him, Ball, and the new running back they had back there. But no, he was a true quarterback, true RPO reading, true pull it out of the belly, throw the glance route over the middle, true quarterback play from Cam Reitner, and he was accurate. He was on time. He was efficient for the most part. Um, and then, of course, he does have that ability to run the ball. And he did make plays on the ground. Um, was a threat on the goal line, covering everybody up. Cool, we'll run quarterback ISO, and you can't tackle Cam Reitner. Just an absolute hell of a season for them. Offensively, they scored points in every game, even in the playoffs. It was a back and forth affair. They lost late, but they scored like over 38 points in a playoff game as well. So you can't really put that on the quarterback. And not to blame anybody. I'm just saying Cam Reitner had an incredible year, surpassed all expectations. And I think that's the biggest thing here. Didn't expect this out of Cam Reitner. Didn't know what to expect of him. Had not played quarterback since his freshman year. So to see him go out and ball the way that he did is the reason why he holds this number 16 spot. Just an incredible season from an incredible athlete that switched over to quarterback, an incredible story. I'm not even gonna mention one of y'all wrote on my page that he wasn't gonna be the starter by week 4, but I'll let y'all figure that out. At number 16, senior Cam Reitman. At number 15, another senior quarterback, this one out of Athens, Texas, it is David Richardson. And what a year from David Richardson. 3,000 passing yards, 1,100 rushing yards, 53 total touchdowns for an outstanding senior year for one of the more surprising playoff runs. And I think out of all East Texas this year, I don't think anybody really had Athens making it to the quarterfinal. I don't think anybody had Athens scoring 56 points on Carthage in the middle of the regular season. David Richardson is the reason for that. He did an absolute wonderful job of just operating the offense this year. You're going to see him throw many of RPOs. His feet aren't always set. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but his mechanics aren't always nice. But he's so talented throwing the football. He can spiral that football in, whether his feet are set or not. A lot of arm strength from him, a lot of straight line, arm line strength that he has there. Two incredible receivers in Brewer, Julius Brewer, and also in Emmanuel Moore, both guys who made this list this year. They did a great job of running by people, but David Richardson puts that ball up there. He ain't going. He ain't out running that football. That's the one thing about him. He can throw the football out there. Made a lot of deep conversions, deep completions this year, throwing that ball up to his guys and letting them go get it. Like I said, very, very surprising year, especially with Athens not having like a bona fide running back. Jabari Taylor played a little running back, but he also played outside linebacker. They had a sophomore back there playing a little running back. He wasn't the best in the world. So they were depending on David Richardson's legs with his 1,100 rushing yards and his arm to get the job done. And I think he played fantastically. And as an individual, I don't know too many other quarterbacks that played better than David Richardson did in 2025. Coming in at number 15 from Athens, David Richardson. At number 14, one of the more impact players on the defensive side of the ball, it is the senior defensive end, outside linebacker Jalen Foster from Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove has puts him out every year. This time last year it was Lance Jackson. This time it is the best player on defense this year was Jalen Foster. Foster plays an incredible effort. The difference between him and Jackson is about 7 inches. He is not nearly as tall and not nearly as pretty as a prospect as Lance Jackson is and was. But this dude is more productive than any of those guys. He had put up really like a Trevor Brooks type stat line, over 30 tackles for loss, a whole bunch of sacks. I think he had 14 sacks this year and like 70 tackles. Just a guy that can absolutely get after it on the edge. So fast, so athletic, so much better than some of the guys that he's playing, that he doesn't have to have the best technique. He can go inside, down the middle, and he's just going to be better than the other player that's on the other side of the ball. And that's half the battle. Like, I don't need you to be perfect, be better than that guy. Jalen Foster did that a lot in 2025. Has done that over the course of his 4-year varsity career. Just been absolutely amazing along the way. On the cusp of making the list last year. This year, no and if, buts, or about it. Absolutely the man, and had him graded out extremely high. He did a great job this year, and he comes in here on the list at number 14, Jalen Foster. At number 13, a junior quarterback from Edgewood, Texas, it is Trevor Golightly. Trevor Golightly crashed the list last year I think at like number 16. This dude can flat out play. His highlight tapes are going to show you everything that he can do, whether it be short game, mid game, scramble around, deep balls, timing routes, RPO. He can do it all. He does a great job of marketing himself, I think, from his Twitter, also from the highlights that he puts out each and every week. But they built the offense to play around Trevor Golightly, and they had incredible weapons around him. Tony Smith made the list at 94. Jathan Johnson made the list. The running back was actually the district MVP. He was an incredible football player, so he had athletes all over the field, and he just dinked and dunked it and threw it and ran around. 3,100 passing yards, 1,300 rushing yards, I believe maybe 46 total touchdowns, something crazy like that. You just watch him. The dude can absolutely play. He's one of the best that I've seen in a very long time. Uh, Even in his playoff loss, he threw for like 500 yards. I think he ran for three and ran. I think he threw for three and ran for two, something insane like that. Total 500 total yards in the loss to Arp in the fourth round. Led his team to a deep playoff run. That's what you want your quarterbacks to do. And like I said, I don't have enough nice things to say about Trevor Golightly. I think he's an absolute ball player. I think he's a baller. I think in the right atmosphere, I think he's a big time dude, honestly. And I think in the right atmosphere, in the right offense, with the right people around him that believe in him, I think the sky is the absolute limit. Not the biggest guy in the world. Looks like he might be anywhere from about 5'9" to 6 foot, anywhere in that range. I'm not sure. But his arm is good. His accuracy and his timing is impeccable. And I think he's one of the best quarterbacks to play in East Texas in a very long time. Coming in on the list at number 13, Trevor Golightly. At number 12, a linebacker from Lufkin, Texas. It is Desmond Hood Jr., the senior. And I haven't seen a very good linebacker from Lufkin in a long time. Like a long time. And not that they haven't had good ones, but I don't remember any of them. I have to go back to the days of the good old days, the glory days of the early 2000s. And that's what Desmond Hood reminds me of. He reminds me of AJ Pinson running around back there. He looks like he's a little bit faster than what AJ was, but he can run, he can strike, he can cover, he can read. Once he makes the correct read, he's going to meet the back and he's going to have bad intentions. He will absolutely smack the hell out of you. He is not playing around when he gets to the ball carrier. He reads inside runs well. He took great angles, like especially when you guys get to the Port Arthur Memorial tapes. He does a good job of not crashing into the hole. He does a good job of running and meeting the tailback and where they're going, saving a lot of big runs by just taking the proper angle and making sure he makes the right play to save the defense. It's those kind of plays that make people different to me. So when you see that on his tape, like pay attention to the details of how he is moving on certain runs and how he's moving and not necessarily trying to make a tackle for loss, but just knowing this guy has this. And if I don't make this tackle, it's 60 yards the other way. Um, Lufkin very good this year. I think they went 10-2 again this year, losing Longview, and I think they lost obviously the playoff game. But an outstanding season from Desmond Hood Jr. Was a varsity player the last 3 years, and this year made his mark first team all district, and he makes the list and crashed it at a very high spot at number 12. The senior Desmond Hood Jr. from Lufkin. And at number 11, one of my favorite receivers to watch, it is the junior from Tyler High. It is Trey Harlison. And Trey Harlison is what you want, prototypical. 6'3", look like he's 185 to 195 pounds. Big ass kid. Looks like he can run through all tackles, as you see on that first highlight. He just runs through 3-hand tackles and just says, "Hey, I'm gonna go into the crib with it." Deep ball guy. He can go and catch the top jump ball. He showed that last year. He has a couple of Hail Mary type jump passes he goes up and gets. This year showed a lot of rack ability, catching short stuff and taking it very far. He runs good routes over the middle. He has a great set of hands, big ass body that you can't deter or knock off. I would like to see his route running improve. I would like them to be a little quicker with his feet, be faster just a little bit, but that's what an off season's for. But I think as far as high school goes, he's one of the top-notch receivers in East Texas. Uh, I think he's probably a 3 or 4 star guy, probably a 4 star guy on those recruiting sites. I don't think he's 5 star talent, but I do think he is a very highly productive player. I think he has a college body. I think he has more than a college skill set as far as hands go. And I would really like to see what he's going to do in 2026, how he can top this year. He's going to have a different quarterback. Granberry, who has started the last 3 years at Tyler, moving on through graduation. So it would be nice to see how they replace him and what type of relationship he's got. But he's got a hell of a dude to throw it wide to whoever that new quarterback will be out there in Tyler High. Let's throw it to number 4. I promise you, he'll catch it. At number 11, junior Trey Harlison.